Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about an Anastasia Beverly Hills face palette. At this point, this is maybe old news to you, but it's completely new to me. First time trying it out today, and I've got some thoughts for you. This all-in-one bronzer, highlighter, and blush palette comes in 3 different shades. Today we're going to be looking at the shade Italian Summer, which is the lightest shade, or set of shades I should say. Italian Summer is the lightest, and then they've got Off to Costa Rica, and then they have Tropical Getaway. You can look at them up online, but it is nice that they thought about coming up with color palettes that would work for different skin tones. This palette runs for $58 and has again, a blush, bronzer, and a highlighter inside in a nice mirror. As you see me apply this product, I'm gonna go over some product details, but before we do that, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's dive into this. They describe this as an all-in-one, 3-well face palette featuring bronzer, highlighter, and blush for a touch of getaway warmth and glow. This essential trio delivers a lightweight, buttery feel and seamless blend illuminating all skin tones for long-lasting, natural radiance. With an easy-to-apply and buildable formulas, the Luxe Portable Glam Palette provides an unbeatable, one-and-done solution for a subtle to supercharged look. Italian Summer, the bronzer is called Pompeia, the blush is called Camellia, and the highlighter is Sardinia. I'm probably pronouncing all of those wrong. In the Italian side of my family may not be happy about that. First thoughts on packaging before I talk a little bit more about my thoughts on how it applied. I think the packaging is beautiful. The box is beautiful. The little palette seems glam and luxurious. Even though it's not in a hard case, I think the texture on the outside is lovely. It's a rose gold color, very stunning. The mirror is a good size. I haven't taken the sticker off of it. And I think you get a fairly decent size pan for each product. As you can see, it does give a nice warmth and glow to the skin. It is more of a, in my opinion, a vacation palette. This is something you bring with you when you travel, when we can do that more often. Again, it's a one and done, very complimentary sort of selection. At least for me, I picked the fair skin tone one because this is more of a color scheme that I would go toward. With products like this, the bronzer, we'll start with that. Bronzer is always the hardest for me because I am so fair. It's either going to be too dark, too orange, too cool. There's always something that makes it a little tricky for fair skin. And I think this product, you have to use it a specific way. So when I first went into this, I was using my bronzer brush and doing kind of a sweeping motion. That picks up way too much product. And I kind of ran into that in a few spots on my face, like right here, I've got a nice streak of bronzer. And whenever I would swipe my brush, I'd have a harder time. It would pick up more product, but then I'd have a harder time blending it. So I had moments where I couldn't really blend back the bronzer. I took my finger to kind of move the bronzer closer to my hairline, because once it went down, it didn't really want to move as well. When I didn't sweep the brush through it, I did more of a tapping motion. It picked up less product and it was a lot easier for me to use. Overall, I think the color is lovely. I think it just requires a lighter hand on fair skin tones, because I am definitely not this bronze and it does look a little bit unnatural because of how heavy-handed I went with it. I'll say the same thing with the blush. It's lovely, but as I showed you guys, a lot of powder kicks up on the blush. So again, be very gentle with your powder brush or with your blush brush, because you can pick up a lot of product all at once. Use gentle tapping motions, very slight sweeping motions in the pan if you need to pick up more product. But this formula of the bronzer and the blush, tapping is the way to go, at least for a lighter application. I think the blush layers a lot nicer than the bronzer does, at least so far with my first opinion. The blush blended really well with the bronzer. I do appreciate that the two colors really complement each other and it doesn't look like I have streaks of two different colors that just don't make sense. The blush helped me blend the bronzer out a bit more, look a little more natural, at least on this part of my face. Where I just have the bronzer on my forehead, it looks a lot more unnatural, but the rest of my face looks more natural as it's blended through the lower half. The highlighter was kind of a letdown, but also not. So Anastasia highlighters tend to be very powerful, very bold. This one, not so much. And I found that with this one, it is very soft, buildable. This formula in particular, I did end up using more of a sweeping motion to pick up more of the payoff. It's not an in-your-face blingy highlight. I feel like I can keep layering this on and it's just soft. It's a very, very soft highlight. So overall, the bronzer and the blush, I would use more of a tapping motion, a lighter hand. If you want to do more of a soft, buildable look, if you really want to go in, make it very dramatic, sweep the brush along it. The highlighter, you do need, if you're using a brush, a little more pressure to get the powder off. I'm going to swatch it on my hand here so you guys can see the colors. Does feel very buttery, smooth. That's the bronzer. They don't feel chalky, and with the blush I was a little nervous that it was going to be a little chalky when it picked up so much powder or it kicked up so much. But it blends lovely, and it's just, I like it. It's very soft, muted. This color blush will go with a lot of different makeup looks. In the highlight, see, when you put it on your finger, it seems so much more bold, but then as you blend it out, you can hardly, can you guys even see that? When you blend it out, it's a lot softer. It's very, there we go. We can get it a little bit there. But it's subtle. The lighting right now, because I put my hand up there, it like readjusted everything. It does make me look really dark, but if I did such a heavy streak of that on my face, it would be too dark for sure. I do like this. I don't regret purchasing it. Regret purchasing it. However, I do think the price point is a little steep. $58. If it was a big palette, had larger pans, I don't know. It just seems like it shouldn't be $58. I'd put this closer to $39, $40 if I were to price it. I mean, I don't know how much the materials cost. The packaging, obviously beautiful, but I don't think I would go to this with that price point. That being said, I still got it off of Sephora at that price point, but unless you're really someone who's going to travel a lot, you like the colors, if you're a beauty collector and the cost doesn't matter to you, I do think it's nice. If any of you guys have tried the deeper shades, let me know your success with them, how they look, how they wear. I'd love to know your thoughts on this palette. Be sure to leave a comment down below of what you think. I'd say I'm pretty neutral on it, but that's just that's just where I stand. Anastasia has come out with cream blush and highlighter and bronzer since releasing this palette, but I wanted to use it, wanted to try it. May not be something you're interested in at this point, because that's just the beauty industry. They just pump stuff out and then it's insane. I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.